Welcome to the channel. My name is Dennis, and I did a video a little bit ago on Medjugorje's secrets, and surprisingly, the algorithms for YouTube just really threw it out there to the world, and a lot of people watched it, which also meant a lot of people commented on it, most positive, but it reminded me that there's still so much hatred and vitriol out there against Medjugorje, the apparitions, and the visionaries. And some of you had commented, you've got to read this guy's book, you've got to see this guy's interview, you've got to see this person's testimony against Medjugorje. And these people are almost proclaimed anti-Medjugorje experts. And okay, I've looked at their interviews, I've read what they've had to say, and really it's inconclusive to me. There's very little evidence, factual evidence, that they point out that stakes their claim that Medjugorje is a big hoax and that it's furthermore of the devil. And it's a great thing that we all have our opinions, and I respect your opinion even if you think Medjugorje is of the devil. But this video, I'm here to share with you the facts about Medjugorje and the facts relating to what the church thinks in the Vatican about Medjugorje. First of all, I had a tremendous conversion experience in Medjugorje. So yes, does that make me a fan? Absolutely. Do I believe in the authenticity of the apparitions? Yes. Has it changed my life for the better? Yes. Would I be making this video if I hadn't had that conversion experience at Medjugorje? No way. But here I am, and I'm happy to do it. And I appreciate all the positive comments that have come forth in previous videos. But I wanted to clarify that the Vatican has not approved the apparitions at Medjugorje, and I'm going to state some other things, though, in recent history that have happened that give a lot of credit to Medjugorje and what's happening there. So, first of all, to be a Catholic in good standing, you do not have to believe in Marian apparitions at all, much less Medjugorje. So let me just state that. And in 2017, Pope Francis, and now Pope Francis, he had said some things that were not very favorable towards Our Lady's messages, towards Our Lady, a little bit disrespectful, I would say, at the time. But despite that, in 2017, Pope Francis appointed a Vatican archbishop as part of a special envoy to Medjugorje to examine the pastoral situation there. And then a couple of years later, in 2019, Pope Francis makes a formal disposition stating, yes, it's possible to organize pilgrimages to Medjugorje. Now, people had been going there for many decades prior, but this was a formal pronouncement by the Vatican, by Pope Francis, saying that, yeah, it's okay for you to go on pilgrimage to Medjugorje. And then furthermore, in 2021, Pope Francis again appoints Archbishop Cavalli to Medjugorje on a permanent basis to establish pastoral care there and to ensure that those that are going to Medjugorje on pilgrimage are having their spiritual and sacramental needs met. So the Vatican, furthermore, in September 19th, 2024, so this is very recent history, applied a nihil obstat, which means nothing prevents, to the apparitions of Medjugorje. What is a nihil obstat? This indicates that the faithful can receive a positive encouragement for their Christian life through the spiritual proposal, and it authorizes public acts of devotion. Such a determination is possible insofar as many positive fruits have been noted in the midst of a spiritual experience, while negative and dangerous effects have not spread among the people of God. This does not imply that the alleged supernatural events are declared authentic. Moreover, the positive assessment that most of the messages of Medjugorje are edifying does not imply a declaration that they have a direct supernatural origin. So again, that was September 19th, 2024. The Vatican is approving these public acts of devotion. So it also means that there is no contradiction of what the visionaries' messages are, Our Lady's messages to the world, that there's no contradiction to Scripture or to church teaching. And that is very important. So you can be assured that if anything went against Scripture or the church, the Vatican would have said something about it immediately, as they've done in the past with other apparitions. So that has not happened. I can assure you, if the Vatican thought all of these messages were dangerous to our souls, that they were perhaps of Satan, as some of you say they are, I think the Vatican would have said something pretty strongly in the past. But they don't. And so Our Lady's messages center around the conversion of souls towards God and Jesus to defeat Satan. In July 30th, 1987, there was a message from Our Lady of Medjugorje that says, "Dear children, this is the reason for my presence among you for such a long time, to lead you on the path of Jesus." Not Satan, Jesus, she says. "I want to save you, and through you to save the whole world. Many people now live without faith. Some don't even want to hear about Jesus, but they still want peace and satisfaction. Children, prayer is the only way to save the human race." So as some of you have indicated in comments on my other videos, you really think that sounds like the devil? You really think that's trying to get people to turn away from God? The basic messages of Medjugorje are of peace, prayer, and fasting. Okay? Nothing has changed for a couple centuries now in regards of what the church teaches and what Jesus' messages are. So if you've got a problem with peace, fasting, and prayer, I'm sorry, you're going to have to direct your hate and your vitriol and your anger towards not just the Christian and Catholics, but also to the Jewish people, to Hindus, to Buddhists, and to Muslims, because they all believe in the power of peace, prayer, and fasting. So let's not limit ourselves, okay? Furthermore, though, the messages surrounding Medjugorje also invoke us to be more involved in monthly confession, attending Mass regularly, and also praying the Rosary and reading Scripture. And please let me know if you've been harmed by any of those things, especially if you've been to Medjugorje. Let me know if you became an agnostic, an atheist. And I'm being a little sarcastic, but I'm quite serious. I just don't hear these stories. And I don't want to think that everything's so rosy. I don't want to be looking through the world always with rose-colored glasses and thinking that everybody's experience is grand. I had a powerful experience at Medjugorje, and nobody can take that away. And if the church came across tomorrow and said the Medjugorje apparitions are null and void, you're not to believe in them anymore, it's still not going to take away what I experienced. But I will be obedient to the church, but I'm still going to have my personal experience that can never be taken away, and that it brought me closer to God. And here I am talking to you about God. But there is just, to me, no way that people can go away from Medjugorje and have a worse life. But again, I don't want to dismiss that. So if you or anybody you know has had a worse off life because of following the messages of Medjugorje, if you've become agnostic or an atheist or involved in satanic rituals because of the messages from Medjugorje, because of making a pilgrimage there, please let me know. I'm really serious. I am curious to know if there's people out there where that's the case. And some of you can point, oh, there's just so much dissension between the local Franciscans and the diocesan priest and the local bishops, blah, blah, blah. And to me, those are just distractions. I'm not going to deny that there's a lot of disagreements between the religious hierarchy over there in that part of Bosnia-Herzegovina and in Medjugorje. There's politics everywhere. And, we can get distracted by those things. Don't. Jesus tells us to set our sights on heavenly things, on things above, right? And even though he gave us his church, right, which is heavenly in its origin, but it's still run by man, who's sinful and it's with his nature. So don't get caught up in those things. I don't. I choose not to. So people point out they want to nitpick all of these negative things that may or may not be happening, and we don't know the whole story, and I don't really care. I don't care. I'm looking at the bigger picture. What is the Blessed Mother calling us to do? And the church has not said that these things go against church teaching. They do not go against Scripture. So until they do, I'm going to keep being a believer. And so my question to you is, as far as Medjugorje is concerned, does it bring you closer to God, or does it take you farther away? And if it brings you closer to God, that's amazing. That's awesome. I'd love to hear how it's transformed your life. And like I said earlier, if it has taken you further away from God, I want to hear about that too. But that's okay, because there's still 100, 1,000, 10,000 reasons to be a Catholic, to be a Christian, to be a follower of Jesus, despite Medjugorje. Okay? So I just wanted to set the record straight because, oh my gosh, there's so much negativity and hate out there still. I just thought we were getting a little bit beyond that. But another reason perhaps why Our Lady of Medjugorje continues to appear to us, to continue to call us back to her Son, but to pray for all those people that need God in their lives. We are praying for you. Please pray for me. God bless, and hope to see you in heaven.